Right, okay, so I was going to cancel this. I did have a headache just a minute ago, but the headache's gone. Stream. I know no one's watching at the moment, but hopefully someone will come along soon. I thought I'd do a quick stream regarding my thoughts and my beliefs in the paranormal. Hi, Bloody Mary. I won't be taking. Well, if you want to ask a question, I suppose that doesn't really matter. You know, if you want to ask me a question, you can ask me a question. Right. Well, as you know, I got into this 2012 after my dad died. But did I actually believe in the paranormal before then? I think I did actually, because I did go to my cousin's house, and he reckons his friend's house was haunted by his grandma, and every night at a certain time, just as it's getting dark, the rocking chair in his nan's room would rock. We went there and checked it out, and as it started getting dark, the rocking chair did actually start moving. And there weren't no windows or doors open, no breezes or nothing like that. So I thought, is it really haunting or not? It was kind of like a little bit freaky seeing it, moving. But it wasn't really scary, kind of thing. So I thought it's some kind of trickery, actually, to be honest with you. But, later in time, as life went on, I told you a story about me and my sister being in the living room watching a horror movie. And things happened during the horror movie, like on the horror movie, a window got knocked. And as it happened, would you believe our window knocked? I had to go out looking around, making sure no one's around. Couldn't find no one. Then later on, during the same movie, something fell in this woman's closet, and as that happened, something fell in our storage room, which was behind the TV in a living room. So, again, had to pull the TV out, to investigate it, and I think it was just a box. But going back on, I always wondered what actually caused the box to fall, because those boxes have been sitting there for months, even years, without even falling down. A knock on a window. What knocked on a window, for instance? So, it kind of like freaked us out. We were scared, I'll be honest with you. But I didn't think it was paranormal. I thought it was just like coincidences, kind of thing. So, I kind of like heard ghost stories and stuff like that, as I was growing up, but I didn't really believe them. Anyone can make up a ghost story. It's easy. If I went in the paranormal or wanted to scare someone, I could just make up a story and probably scare them, hopefully. But as I said, it was after my dad died when things started going a bit weird in my home, where I used to live. From the first EVP I caught, when my dad saying, "Stephen, love your son," shadow movements, going down the hallway, things, seeing a door move, actually having that, what's that called? I can't think of the word now. When you woke up in that frozen state, you're paralyzed and you can't move, I had that happen to me. In the bedroom upstairs, which I was sleeping in, because me and my wife had issues with each other, so I slept in a separate room. And in the same room, another night, completely different night, the door opened by itself, and I thought it was the kids, and I checked the kids, no one was awake. So that's when the crazy things started happening. And I thought, yeah, something's going on here, I believe there's something's going on. So I decided, I wanted to learn more about the paranormal. I didn't think I'd get this too deep into it, actually, for 5 years. But I have spoken to spirits before, and they have said, like, oh, you're going to be doing this, most of your life now. And I was told this in temporary accommodation at Hall Place. I can't remember, it's 2012, 2013, around that area time. They said you're going to communicate with many spirits, you're going to like help spirits cross over, you're going to physically possibly see spirits and communicate with them, you're going to hear them and stuff like that. And I didn't think that would ever happen, but it has. It's kind of like, made me wonder, was this something that I was supposed to have had? Or was it like a gift from God? I suppose it is a gift from God, actually, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't be doing it, would I? Some people say that, like, oh, well, you can only communicate with spirits and talk to spirits if you've had a near-death experience. That's wrong. That's wrong. No, you could be the most skeptical person around, and you could be walking outside one night and a ghost might appear in front of you, and you'll probably go running, screaming like a, lunatic. Ah, so go to them. Your ass ain't going to be seen that quick. It's just. I've always said I'd like to see a ghost. I've seen like partial apparition in the past. In again with temporary accommodation. It's like a long 5 foot see-through white misty kind of like shivery kind of thing, and I saw that a couple of times. I say about 4 or 5 times in. Now I always thought it was my dad, but Hall Place is known to be haunted anyway. Many different stories about Hall Place in Mitcham. There's even write-ups on Hall Place in a book by Steve Clark, I think it is, who wrote Mysterious Mitcham. I never did get his book, I don't think. Oh, actually, yeah, I think I did. I think my daughter bought it, but where I put it, I can't remember. There's 2 books on Mitcham about ghosts, hauntings, and sightings and stuff like that. But what is my thoughts on ghosts? Spirits, shadow people. Well, ghosts and spirits is practically the same thing. Ghost is a ghost, spirit is a spirit. No, a ghost is a spirit, spirit's a ghost. It's just a different name to call them, I suppose. And I've always, well, not always, but since I've been doing this, I do feel that once we die, it's our body that's dead, not our spirit, not our soul. Our soul probably goes to heaven or hell, but our spirit can either go the same way as a soul has, or it lingers around and it just wants to be where it wants to be. Like, it could be hanging around with family, friends, with loved ones, or they just want to stay because they love the property that they once owned or whatever. There's been stories where people haunt their cars, because they've had a car accident and a person died in an accident, and the car was like repaired and sold to someone else, and apparently, there's haunted cars out there. You've got haunted trains, you've got haunted like homes, anything can be haunted, dolls, watches, clocks, anything. So, I do believe that things can be haunted by the spirit, whoever owned that particular item. So, are we really talking to spirits? Well, yeah, I believe we're talking some kind of intelligent, whether it being, well, I'm hoping they are spirits, people, deceased people from the past. If we're not, then who the hell are we talking to? Is this some kind of form of alien cloaked, in some kind of cloaking device, and they're sitting next to me, and telepathically telling me the stuff that I want to know? No, but how do they know the answers? If they are some kind of like alien or some kind of like inner dimension creature, or whatever. We can't prove that they are ghosts unless we physically see them. But even if we see a ghost, are we actually really seeing a ghost, or are we somehow telepathically being told for our mind's eye that we're seeing a ghost? They say that the mind is a weird thing. They've only been able to examine with technology and scientific knowledge that they've only been able to tap into a fraction of the mind. And it's like when you feel sick, is that our body telling us that we're sick, or is it our mind saying that we're sick? I'm not going to get into that kind of crap, but how do we know we're being sick? Is it a spirit saying, "Oh, you're going to be sick," or is it physically our brain telling us that we're sick? Because why is it that when you are around spirits, some people do physically feel sick? Why? Is it the kind of reaction they give us when we're trying to communicate with them? Maybe they died from a sickness, through a flu or a cold or something, because years and years ago, talking about 100 years ago, we never had the medication like we have now. So someone could have died with pneumonia, and we could be trying to communicate with spirit in that timeline, and that spirit is actually making us feel the way they felt before they died. How many times have I done a stream where I've said I've got such a headache, it feels like an impact, like a hammer, or some blunt instrument, and I'm talking to the spirit saying, yeah, I died from a brain tumor because someone bashed me across the head, or someone shot me in the head, or chest pain, heart attack, stabbing pain where someone got stabbed. Why do we feel this? Is it the way they died? Are they trying to give us that pain that they had to let us know how they actually died? Possibility. But why do they do it? If they know it can harm us, why do they do it? Do they mean to do it, or do they not mean to do it? Now, I've had spirits come through and they said, look, I wanted you to feel this because, this is how I died. And some spirits will give me the pain, and I say, I could feel your pain. They'll turn around and, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, Fair enough, Some people will probably mean to do it, some people won't mean to do it. So it's kind of unusual, when you are communicating with spirits who died over a certain way of death, and you feel their pain. It's like, sadness as well. You get emotional when they're telling you a story, or they're trying to pass on a message to someone, and you just feel sorry for that spirit, even if you don't know them or whatsoever. Now, I was watching a little bit of Upstate Paranormal video when I was doing an interview on there with him, and someone said to me as an interview question, is it a good idea to communicate with family? Well, I did give an answer, and I'm going to give another answer, but slightly different. Now, I've said that, well, if you're talking about someone else's family and they want to talk to their family member, then if they ask you to communicate with them, then it's better that way that you ask the questions, or tell the spirit that, you're there to guide them and help them to ask their family member a question, and then hopefully you might get the answer. Now, if I'm actually being asked a question as if well, let's say if someone in my family died tomorrow, God forbid, I hope they won't, but let's just say someone died tomorrow, would I try communicating with that family member 2 days later? No, I wouldn't, because like any spirit, I would give them that time and consideration and thought for them to settle down for wherever they're going, hopefully to the other side. I don't want them being stuck in limbo. I don't want them hanging around and um, trying to scare any of the other family. I might just say um, you know, if I got a phone call and saying so and so died today, and it'd be very upsetting. I'm gonna suffer with depression, um, anxiety, and all that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna be very upset. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, look, okay, I know you've gone, but please, give it time before you try to communicate with any of the family. Because they don't want you going to them and trying to scare them. Even if you're not trying to scare them, trying to say your farewells may scare them. So I would actually give it time. I'd give it at least 3 or 4 weeks before I even try to communicate with them. So when my dad died, before he died, I said, if you want to come and talk to me or let me know you're around, do so. I didn't communicate with him because I went into the paranormal at the time. It's like 4 to 6 weeks later, maybe 8 weeks later, when things started happening. And then that's when I decided, well, look, he's gone. It's been quite a while now. Let's just see if he is around. Maybe he wants to pass on that last message. And when I heard that EVP, that was very crazy for one thing, but it was emotional, sad as well, kind of thing. So it's okay to talk to your family, because they know that you're going to miss them, and they know that you love them, and you're hoping they've gone to a better place. Now, I wouldn't be sitting here trying to communicate with my dad every single day, because that'd be a bit kind of disrespectful, I suppose. And I just want him to rest and just move along and do what he needs to do. Say his farewells to the rest of the family, and if he wants to carry on coming and trying to communicate with me, that's fair enough. I've got no problem with that. Now I used to be able to communicate with my dad quite a lot, but I do now know that he isn't around me as much as he used to be because he's got other things he's doing on the other side. I suppose when you do die and you've been, I hate to say it, but dead for 5 years, I suppose God's got something for you to do, a task for you to do, helping other spirits cross over, helping spirits to understand that they're no longer alive, and it's put it this way. Hang on, let's do it this way. If someone was in hospital with a serious illness like stroke and they didn't survive that stroke, when they die, let's say if their body does come out of their, the spirit comes out of their body, yeah, the soul goes wherever it needs to go, heaven or hell. The spirit may be still lingering around. So another spirit or an angel will probably come down and say, look, you're no longer in a living person. We come to help you to move on to the next level, possibly being heaven. And that spirit, that person who just died, might not be ready to go and say, look, I'm sorry, I don't want to go yet. I've got farewells to say, I need to pass on an important message. And maybe the angel, the other spirit who's come down and said, well, okay, we're going to give you time to do what you need to do. But, don't leave it too late because otherwise, we can't come down and collect you. And you probably might be stuck here for indefinite. And maybe some of the spirits want to be stuck here indefinite because they want to be with their friends and family. But I can't, I can still see that even if they cross over, they still got the freedom and the rights to come back and visit their family later. But the spirits have told me that, you have to earn your privileges when you go the other side. You got to do God's tasks. Where they are, I don't know because they won't tell me. But whenever you've done your task, then God will say, right, okay, now you can go down, visit your family. No, have a short vacation for a week, but you've got to come back. And after that, vacation, you've got to do some more tasks. And then you can go back again in a few months' time, kind of thing. And that's what I've been told by spirits. That's if they are real spirits. If they ain't, then as I said, what the hell are we communicating with? Now, another question was, how do you know that you're not talking to something from another dimension? Well, we don't. We don't know how many dimensions are out there. There could be fucking thousands of dimensions, and each dimension could be bringing something different in every time. But there's got to be something intelligent out there, because like when I've spoken to communicate with spirits, they've given me information that I don't even know to pass on to people. And, it's been kind of like not dead accurate, but, near enough accurate. So, the only people would know that would be the deceased person. Unless like an alien has got a fucking great big massive database and they're cloaked and say, right, okay, let's just ask this question. Now, what did this person used to do in life? What's his secret codes and what did he dress? What did he eat? Blah, 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 blah. They put up this fucking great big database and they know the actual answer to the question you're trying to ask. And you're trying to find that reply, that answer, and they got the answer there. No, I don't see it that way. No way. I believe that we are trying to communicate with some form of spirit person. Like the residual. Well, it's not a residual. It's like, well, I don't know if it's a residual or not. A residual is like a spirit that's been trapped by time. It's like a recording continually going on. And intelligent is where a spirit is able to do things. Move around, touch you, make devices go off, move things about, that kind of stuff. And I do believe that near enough every spirit I've spoken to is an intelligent spirit, because they were once intelligent human being at one time. I don't think I've ever spoken to anyone no more than from 200 years ago. I don't even recall speaking to someone like from the Roman times or from the Norman times or from the Victorian times. Maybe Victorian, late Victorian, but early Victorian. No. I think the oldest spirit I've actually spoken to is possibly like 90, 100 years old. If that. I used to speak to a lot of military who fought over at in the First World War, over at France, Somme, and in Germany. I think they're the oldest ones I've spoken to. Maybe, the odd possible Victorian one. But why do Victorian or even spirits from earlier than Victoria want to come and talk to us? Are they interested in the technology we're using to communicate with people, spirits? Witches, for instance, yeah. Well, no, actually, I ain't going to go on about witches. That'll have to be another time. But are they interested in our equipment? The K2 meter, the mobile phone. Are they interested in that because they never had that? It's like kids, when you get an electronic toy, they may have not had an electronic toy when they was younger. And, when they see it, as a spirit person, and they see it laying on the floor, they've got to try to touch it. They're going to be engrossed. They're going to be fascinated about it. And that's why I think what's happening with some of the spirits, they want to know what it is, okay? Some spirits will be too afraid to use it because they might think it's going to harm them. But if you can somehow get a spirit to make those devices go off, and you can tell them that it's not going to harm you, and they say, like, you know, okay, I've touched it, it didn't harm me. Now, okay, now try touching something else. Well, if that one didn't touch, you know, harm them, then they will touch another device, and another one, and another one. And it's like a learning process, I suppose. If you don't tell them how to operate it, they ain't going to know. It's like, you know, when you go to school and you start learning to write, if you don't show the person how to write, explain how to write, they ain't going to learn, are they? So it's like with technology. If you're trying to, like, ask them to touch something, you've got to tell them how to touch it. You've got to say, use your energy, use the energy around the room. We know that's what you use, energy, different forms of energy. Just build up as much energy you can and touch that device. And what's happening is that the device is actually, like, generating its own energy. And when you touch it, you're breaking that energy, that barrier. That's what's causing that to light up. It's not going to harm you. If it harms you, then I apologise, and, you know, you can punch me or scratch me or something, you know. I guarantee you that these ain't going to harm you. And how many times have we had, you know, positive intelligent communication with devices? A lot. It's like ghost box radios, you know. They must somehow know how to manipulate the static, the white noise, and the broken speech to try to communicate with us through a ghost box, yeah? And what I've been told is that once one spirit learns how to use those techniques, those devices, if a new spirit wants to come through and communicate, then there's going to be that particular one who will come back and say, well, I know how to do that. I'll teach you. It's not going to take, you know, too long, because there's no time in the spirit world. You know, I'm going to show you how to do it, and you're going to use it. And, you know, that spirit may be trying to touch it and setting off the device, and it's not going off. They're probably getting frustrated. And the one who knows how to do it say, look, you know, it's not going to work straight away. So it took that other spirit who knows how to do it a little time to do it. And they can explain, you know, it might take 5 minutes for you to build up enough energy to set that device off. Maybe there's just ain't enough energy for you to set that device off tonight. So, you know, if he does another seance or another communication with you sometime, then try to build up enough energy for when he does do it, so you can come back and set the device off then. Talking shit, aren't I? But, you know, I do believe that, you know, spirits are intelligent. You know, even though when they were alive, you know, they knew how to do things, yeah. And, you know, a lot of people never knew about this kind of technology. But if they don't know how to touch it and how to work it, and there ain't no one there to, you know, in the spirit world to teach them, we've got to teach them ourselves. So the other thing being is, like, you know, technology is going all the time, and people are buying technology in hope that they can figure out and try to communicate spirits in different ways. Okay, now, you know, there's different EMF meters out there. You know, I've seen about 10 different ones where people use them in ghost hunting, and some people get better results on one device than they do on any other device. Some spirits might like only one particular device and not use anything else, like 4 different EMF meters, one being a K2 meter. You can have the trifield meter, the mil meter. You know, they all practically pick up EMF. A spirit might just like the K2 meter and not the other ones. He might like all 3 and set all 3 off. You don't know. And if they are setting all 3 off, it's got to have enough energy to manipulate those 3 devices to go off at the same time. Like when I had in the living room, 2 K2 meters going off exactly the same time. One at the back in the mirror, one in the middle of the living room. They're both going off at the exact time. I even went in there and I said, right, spirits, stop for a minute. And suddenly they stopped. I said, right, when I say now, I want you to light both these K2 meters up. One at the back of the mirror, one in the middle of the floor. Now, you're talking about 15 foot away from each other. I said, okay, light them up. Now, as soon as I said now, both K2 meters went ballistic. They went red, hitting the top. And I was like, whoa, fucking amazing, man. So whoever that was either a very powerful spiritual energy, or several spirits might have built up enough energy to get them both going at the same time. Or maybe several spirits gave one particular spirit all their energy for that one spirit to do it themselves. Maybe others didn't know how to do it, or was too afraid to do it, and asked the other spirit to do it. So, I've had some pretty amazing kind of responses on some of the equipment. But with ghost boxes, okay, ghost boxes is the physical ghost boxes, like a PSB7, Sandrium, whatever, the coop box. It's all scanning through radio stations, picking up static white noise, broken up words, and they can use that better than the actual software ones. So I'm still trying to figure out how can a spirit actually communicate through a ghost box application on a computer. Now, don't get me wrong, I have had some pretty interesting results on certain ghost box apps in the past. What ones is it called? The one I normally use, Afterlife box. I had some on the Infinity box, and even on the Phasma box. Direct answers to direct questions. Now, how the hell can that happen? A direct reply, an answer to a question. It's like a 1 in a billion chance, and we've got it. So how do they find ways of communicating with us through software? There's no proven statistics that a ghost, a spirit, us through a piece of software. It's just code, lettering, numbers, algorithm. So how the hell did I do it? It's like, well, I've just bought that Halovox from Sanchez, and I ain't really getting nothing out of it in the moment, but it doesn't mean it's not going to work. It's just time. Again, it's like a learning phase for me and the spirits. Maybe I might get some direct replies to direct questions in time. It takes time for spirits to learn new techniques. It takes us time to learn techniques. Now, I still don't even know how to operate the bloody millimeter properly, how to record and all that kind of stuff. So I'm one of those people who do not like reading instructions. Now, there's probably spirits out there who don't like instructions either, and they just try it their own way. And if it works, it works. If it don't. It's like with my DC box. When I first built them, I built two. And I used to have them in the living room, the most active part of the home. And they weren't going off at all. But the REM pod was, and it's just similar to a REM pod. And I was saying, well, I don't know why it's not going off. It's the same kind of thing. Touch that one. But they weren't. It's only until Dave Dimlow, one of my friends who lives in the UK, decided he wanted one. So I said, well, Dave, I've had them for 6 weeks and not one of them's gone off, mate. Are you sure you want one? He goes, yeah. I said, well, if you want one, I'll send you one up. So I did. And the day he got it, he went out on investigation. He put it on the floor in this haunted location he's been to. And the damn thing went crazy on him. The same day he got it. Now, he uploaded the video and he goes, hey, Steve, you can watch this. You're going to be fucking amazed. You're going to be jealous. I said, why am I going to be jealous? He goes, watch it. I watched it, and the bloody device I built, where it hadn't gone off for 6 weeks here, was going crazy the first day he got it. I'm thinking, well, why? Why? He goes, well, maybe you ain't explaining to them properly on how to operate it. I said, well, it's just like a REM pod, and I've told them, like, if you can use a REM pod, you can use that. Yeah, but they might be wary about the new device. They might not understand about it. You know, they may not know how to operate it. You know, it might have a different kind of energy field around it when it's generating its own energy field, and you've got to explain that to them. So I said, all right. So a couple of days later, I decided to stream. I put the DC box in there, the second one, the only one I had. And I went in and I explained to the spirits, look, you know, it's the same kind of device like a REM pod is. The REM pod generates an EMF, and you're breaking that EMF every time you use it. This is similar. It may be generating slightly different EMF, but if you do the same thing as what you're doing and what you was doing on the REM pod, it should happen on this device as well. And within minutes, it started going off. So I explained it to them in a proper more detail. And every time I use one, I always get results off it. So, you know, it doesn't mean that every kind of piece of equipment you're going to get results. You know, and that's what they said to me. You know, you could buy the newest piece of equipment out there and see people getting results on it straight away. And you think, oh, I've got to get that. It's like a couple of items I've got, you know, like the millimeter. I never had any hits on that hardly at all. I had a couple of hits on it, and I've had that over a year. You know, it's about, well, I'll say about 15 months, 16 months. No, I had it for a whole year, and I didn't even get one hit on the actual K2 part of the millimeter. And I can understand why. And it was only until, like, you know, I was going to be angry. I was saying, look, this is how you do it. And for fuck's sake, how many more times I've got to tell you how to do it? And I had it in the kitchen one day. I was just setting up the kitchen, and I turned it all on. And as I put it down, about a minute later, it started going off. But it only went off like twice, then it stopped. Then it didn't go off anymore. So, you know, maybe the spirits tried it. They didn't like it, so they won't use it. Some spirits might like it, and they continue using it. So, you know, do spirits have their own particular choice of communication? Yeah, I suppose they do. So, you know, if they like a K2 meter over than the mel meter, they probably use the K2 meter more. If they like the mel meter, they probably use the mel meter more than the K2 meter. You know, I've tried several different ghost boxes, and I used to get more results on the Sangium, and one of my the Sangium I hacked myself actually. But you know, I've had other ghost boxes I've hacked. The Amiga one, I used to get results on that one as well, but suddenly I'm not getting results on them anymore. I must admit, I did stop doing ghost boxing for, you know, a good 6-7 months. I was just doing, like, you know, other bits and pieces. I think I even took a break for about 3 or 4 months before I came back to the paranormal. And maybe, you know, because I wasn't doing the paranormal for a little while, they decided, well, you know, we won't use them anymore. But, you know, I have started getting a bit more results, but I still can't figure how they can actually use software. Unless they're that fucking intelligent, and maybe, like, you know, they're taught in heaven some kind of scientific way how to, like, manipulate, you know, Ghostbox software, then that's crazy. And they, you know, I have asked them, you know, do you learn from each other? And I said, yeah, it's just like, you know, going back to school. We learn new things which we didn't even know was even possible on the other side. And I'm thinking, well, that's great, you know, because, like, is there anything you can tell us? And well, maybe in time, you know, but we can't tell you too much because we're not allowed to. You know, there's certain rules in heaven. We can only tell you so much. It's like, you know, they can't interfere with our future. So if they do, they break God's law, and they can be kicked out and thrown down to the pits of hell, you know, for like breaking God's law. And like, you know, as I say, they've got to do tasks to come down to like visit us. Unless they're like, you know, earthbound and they've not crossed over. And, you know, with the earthbound ones, as I say, like, they're probably here because they want to stay here. They've got things to do. They need to make sure that the family's been looked after, their home's been looked after. They're waiting for like a grandchild to be born or something like that. Or some other reason they're probably stuck on the planet. You know, they got free will, you know, even if they committed murder or done something evil, you know, it depends on what they've done, I suppose. Like, if it's very, very bad, you know, they've done it multiple times, and they're definitely going to go down to hell. But if they've only done, like, the odd one bad thing, you know, as long as they, like, you know, repent themselves, you know, say sorry to God before they go, and, you know, God is going to just, like, open his arms up and go, come on in, up come. You've been forgiven. And maybe they do get forgiven. And then when they get forgiven, they've got the choice of going straight up or staying down here for a little while. The other question, like shadow people, do I believe in shadow people? Well, yeah, you know, shadow people is, to me, it's like a partial manifestation, just like an orb, you know. Spirits travel around as like little light energies, forms of energy lights, you know. The next phase is like a mist or shadow. And because people feel that, you know, they've seen shadows darting around in their home and they feel it's evil, it's not always evil. No, even orbs, you know, there's different meanings of coloured orbs, which I've got on my website. And, you know, there are some dark coloured orbs which are supposed to be like, you know, dark energies, negative energies, you know, evil spirits. But with shadows, you know, if it's like a dark form, you know, black, thick, you know, kind of shadow coming straight at you, then yeah, that's, you know, say dark, you know, evil, demonic. But when you see them, you know, just flying around your room, you know, kind of thing, it doesn't mean they're evil. You know, it could just be a spirit trying to like get from point A to point B without being seen. And it's always that, you know, we see it at the peripheral of our eye because our brain's picking it up and it's telling our eye that, you know, you just seen something. Now, I see a lot of shadows around here and I don't think they were evil. Because if they were, I wouldn't be doing this so much. You know, I'd be fucking so scared. I'll probably end up giving up the paranormal. But no, you know, like yesterday, I saw 3, like, kind of like shadows go across my ceiling, and it's daytime, and it looked like birds. And the only time I ever saw a bird shadow was when I was doing a live stream with Pete, and we saw one go from his hallway straight through the living room. And I've actually got that on one of my videos. Now, because my DVRs ain't working and they're not pointing up anyway, especially the Wi-Fi ones, I wouldn't have caught them. But I saw 3 shadows, not all at one time, but like, it's like an hour in between each, and it just went straight across. It looked like a bird kind of like shadow, but you know, maybe it was a spirit making himself look like a bird. So he wasn't trying to scare me. But bird ones are supposed to be like, you know, like crows, messenger of death. Maybe they're trying to tell me a message and I just wasn't tuned into it. I don't know. But, you know, shadows don't always mean that they're evil, demonic spirit people. Unless you see like a full black, you know, shadow person just sitting there or standing there watching you and he's got red eyes, then yeah, that's something demonic. To me it is anyway. Now, if it's got like orange eyes or blue eyes, then like, you know, that still could mean it's demonic, but it might not be demonic. Unless it's running at me and like, you know, threatening me somehow. I wouldn't really class them demonic, apart from those thick black ones that when you sit laying there at the bottom of the bed and you feel like there's someone there, you know, at the bottom, you kind of like get up and look, and suddenly this mist just comes charging at you. Then yeah, that's demonic. So, you know, if you see shadow things like, you know, perfectly white, it doesn't mean it's always like demonic. What else is there? So, like, you know, Tess and I've not been reading chat, sorry guys, because like, if I start reading chat, it kind of like makes me forget what I'm talking about. But yeah, you know, there's different types of shadows. You know, you see like, you know, the ones that dart around your room. Sometimes you might see ones kind of like in the corner of the room, just like a shadowy haze, you know, just like floating around. That could either be positive or negative. You don't know until, you know, it does something, like starts charging you. But they are normally the second partial part of the, well, it's the second part of the partial manifestation, apparently. So you got your orb, then you got your, like, your mist. No, third. Sorry, your third. So you've got your orb, then you got your mist, then you got your shadow, whether it being like a solid form or a non-solid form or like a misty shadow. You know, that's the third part. I suppose if it's like a shadow person, then it's probably like the fourth part. Because I believe that when they're trying to show themselves, no, I've even seen white shadow figures. So what are they? Are they something angelic? Are they like something more positive? You know, are they like um, spiritual helpers or healers or protectors or something? I don't know. So you've got your white shadows and you've got your dark shadows. Some people said that they've even seen grey shadows. Well, I don't know about grey shadows. Never really got into grey shadows. But you know, you got your orb, then you got your mist, then you got your shadows, then you got your shadow man, then possibly the apparition, and you know, I've had partial apparitions in here. You know, one coming from the mirror just over there and jumping down onto the bed, and it's just like a part of a body. It looked like a leg jumping down and going up. That's all it was a leg. Then another night in here, one comes across my head and it looks like an arm. So, you know, they're trying to manifest, but they've only got enough energy to possibly manifest part of their body form, you know. But then I've seen that black one in the living room when we was doing the murder mystery and unsolved case files. How many people saw that and was like, you know, amazed with that one? How about the white one in the kitchen, which I've just recently re-uploaded, the smaller clip of it? You know, that started off as a white orb, white anomaly. It came from the microwave, shot across the kitchen, practically speed of light, and then suddenly, like, it gets to the kitchen cooker, and instead of like just like disappearing, it flashes. You can actually see the thing flash, then sprouts up, and if you know, because I actually was able to pause it as it was like shooting upwards, it looks like something. I'm not saying it's like angelical. It could be like an angel. It could be some higher form of spiritual person, but to me it looks like a child size kind of like spirit person. So, you know, there's probably different shapes and forms that spirits can take anyway, you know. Then don't get, you know, when they do manifest themselves, they can manifest themselves possibly as they were before they died. Or and some people say that they've seen them, but they see like spirits or ghosts, you know, with blacked out eyes. Why do they do that if they're trying to be shown, you know, trying to be recognised? Do they do that because they trying to give you that fear? because you know spirits thrive off fear anyway. More fear they give you, more energy you're giving them, and you know it's maybe they are trying to fight you, maybe they ain't. But other people said that they've seen a person. This even stories where people have said that they've been sitting talking to someone, and they get up to go and get a drink or something. They come back and they've gone, and they've asked, "Well, where's that person gone? What person? The one I was talking to? There went no one there. Well, you must have heard me speaking. Oh yeah, I heard you speaking, but I thought you was on the phone. No, I was talking to a person right next to me. So that's like a full-blown apparition, a ghost. But how it's kind of like real stories, not that often. Um, then you might see the ghosts, where you got all the blood and guts and maggots and worms and beetles crawling out of their body. They are, to me, like evil, negative spirits. Because again, they're trying to feed off your fear. Or maybe some of them can't actually manifest themselves as a full-blown apparition as they were before, and they can only show themselves after death instead of before death. So are they evil, or are they just like there to scare the hell out of you, or what? Don't know. It depends. Seen nothing like that, I'm pretty sure I probably will at some stage, but I'd rather see someone like as I'm talking to a normal person. That's the kind of spirit I want to see. If I see something like that, then it's something I'm going to have to live with, I suppose, and hopefully try to block out. Because, I suppose, if you're very sensitive and you see ghosts and spirits, and there's got to be a time that you're able to block them out. Because otherwise, if you can't block them out, you're going to see them every fucking minute of the day, aren't you? And it takes a lot of, I suppose, energy yourself to block that person or those spirits from your visual view, from your mind as well, because you don't want to be seeing them every second of the day. You've got other things you need to do. You need to be with your friends, family, you've got your work, you've got chores to do and stuff like that. You can't keep being pestered by these ghosts. But, there are people out there who see them constantly. Some people enjoy seeing them constantly. Some people don't like seeing them constantly. Some people think they're going fucking crazy and probably think they need to end up in a mental institution. Hey, sometimes I feel crazy and feel like I probably might have to go into a mental asylum. But if I do, I'm going to take a fucking audio record with me. I have to stick it up my goddamn backside and smuggle it in. I probably want to do something and try to communicate with someone. Because, being in a padded cell, you would go fucking crazy about talking to someone. I had to, hide a few extra batteries, of course, as well, and poop it out. So I'll be sitting there in a padded cell going, "Any spirits here? Anyone, want to come and talk to me? Now's your chance." How long the batteries will last for, no idea. Unless you've got those really good, powerful ones which can last in an audio recorder for several months. So I could be doing it for like 2 years in a padded cell with an audio recorder talking to spirits. And then I'm going to have to hide it every time, the doctor comes and give me medication or something, Hang a minute, doc, I've just got to stick this up my backside again quickly so you won't find it, But, we're learning more about the paranormal each day, and the spirits are learning from us from each day, Why do they even want to come and talk to us? Why don't they talk to someone else from the, person's family who may have already died? Maybe they get fed up talking to spirits and they want to come back and talk to someone like us, living people. It doesn't mean it's like us, they could be trying to communicate with any person. How many people said their homes are haunted? thousands, millions. You know, why? Is it because the spirit just wants to be recognised? You know, they want to be interacted with. At that, then, you know, some spirits might be trying to interact with you to scare the shit out of you because they don't want you there. That used to be their home. They don't want you there. You know, how many of these ghost TV programs are out there? Loads. And it's always like people coming up and saying, like, you know, they've dealt with spirits. Yeah, okay, a lot of people feel that, you know, the spirits have been mean and nasty because they've been moving things and hiding things. That doesn't mean they're nasty. They're probably playful. What's the other word for it? What's the other word? Hang on. Mischievous. They like playing around, you know, like little jokesters kind of thing. Or you might even get spirits that are there to help you. You know, you might forget your keys, and suddenly, like, you find your keys on the table next to you, and you think, well, I didn't put them there. So you might get some helpful ghosts. There's been stories there where babies have been crying at night time, and the parents are so tired they can't get up, you know, because they've had so many sleepless nights, and suddenly a ghost might come along and just like quieten the baby down a little bit and get the baby back to sleep and helping you to get some rest, you know, kind of thing. There's been stories like that. There's been stories of people had those monitors in their baby rooms, and they've heard ghosts actually singing to the baby to get the baby back to sleep. They've even seen spiritual people in the room rocking the cradle for the baby to get to sleep. And some people have seen this, you know, kind of thing, and yeah, it's probably scary and thinking, well, right, you know, is it going to harm the baby? But once I see that it's not harming the baby or the kids, you know, like, see kids playing around with, like, you know, a spirit and it's not harming them, then I don't think the parents really need to worry. Like, how many people how many people have said, like, you know, when they was young, they had a pretend friend. You know, their kids had a pretend friend. I don't think I had a pretend friend, but if I did, would that have been a ghost? Because that's what they say, you know, a pretend friend is a ghost. So how many children in this world has had pretend friends? Billions, probably. There's probably billions of ghosts out there who've been playing with kids. And it doesn't mean that they're going to harm the kids. Some will, some won't. And don't forget, kids are like animals. They, I don't mean that in, like, you know, they're rough like animals. I mean, like, you know, sensitive to spirits. You know, they can sense them more. There's been like some kind of documentary where they say, like, you know, kids from the age of, like, from when they're born practically up till, you know, maturity will interact with a possible spirit because they're more open, they're open-minded, they're more sensitive to spirit people. Like animals, you know, animals have a different sense to what we have. They can sense, like, spirits around them, and, you know, like, there's been stories where dogs and cats been running around, and you can see that they're playing with something, or they're just sitting there and, like, you know, looking up in the air, following something. And that's possibly because it's just, you know, a positive spirit. But when they're sitting there barking or hissing, then that could be something like an evil, demonic, malicious kind of spirit. And I think, you know, every home has probably got some kind of, like, spiritual presence in them. You know, whether it being that you can sense it because, like, you're sensitive or not, you know. I believe that every house has some kind of, like, spiritual energy in there. Because, like, you know, come on, it's 2017. thousands of years were, BC, yeah, from the Stone Age, okay, we started off probably from monkeys, let's say, then we turned into humans. If we turned into like Stone Age men and women, what happened to their spirit when they died? What happens to everyone's spirit when they died? How many people have died for all the centuries? Trillions. So where's all these spirits gone? How big's heaven? How long does a spirit stay in heaven for? Do they go up to heaven for a couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years? Then they move on to some other kind of place, like a different dimension. God says, right, I'm going to send you down to dimension number 46, and this is going to be where you're going to be reborn. And that dimension is going to be like some kind of like similar to Earth, but with high technology or lower technology, probably no technology, back in the Stone Age kind of thing. What happens to all these spirits? How big is heaven? Is heaven, the whole universe? Got billions of solar systems. Do we get transformed into a star? Possible. No. Does our spirit, our soul, go up to heaven and we've done what we've been told to do, we've been good, and make you into a star tomorrow? Oh, thank you, God. That's all right. So one of those stars up there might be one of your relatives. Never know. Hey, one of them might be my dad, my grandma, great grandfather, my great grandfather. No, I don't know who my grandfathers were. I don't even know my dad's dad. I only just barely knew my mum's father. I knew my nan, both my nans, but my grandfathers, I never knew. Apart from my mum's side, I knew he was an evil vicious bugger. So he chased my eldest sister and my aunt down a hill one day with a carving knife because they didn't have his dinner was ready in time. And my sister Sandra was only about 8, 9 years old. I was probably about 7. So let's have a quick check on chat. Fucking hell, 10 to 5. I was going to say, if anyone's got any questions, you can ask me questions, but I'm going to go in a minute. I'll probably do another one like this another time and allow you to ask me questions. Yeah, but if you're still there, Tessa, you're not alone. You've got your spirit people. I know it's not like talking to another human being. I'm on my own as well. Don't forget. You got your animals. I've got my animal. We treat them as like people, I suppose. I know you can't, really have a conversation with them, but you got your spirit people. You always talk to your guides and your protectors and your angels. That's what I do sometimes. I know it makes me feel a bit crazy, but I do it. I think my doll I got from Jen was about 50, 60 years old, something like that. I'm on medication. Um, well, I only take it when my leg hurts, my knee hurts, gives me a lot of pain. Don't take it too many times, but if it does start hurting a lot, then I do take my medication. No, let's say like if you're going to try to communicate with someone who, in your family who's just recently died, I wouldn't find, I say it'd be unfair to, trying to communicate with them, straight away. So I need to like kind of be laid at rest for one thing, and um, talk to other spirits. I suppose like other spirits come down and say, well, this is what you need to do now. This is your next step to work what you need to be doing. Yeah, you can come and still visit your family, but you still need to do this. You got to like earn your visitations to your family. But people who die may not want to do what they have been told to do, and they want to stay, where they want to stay in their home or wherever they, possibly died. Even if it's like someone who died in a car accident, are they going to be stuck where they died, where that car accident happened? Some are, or some will practically go straight back to their homes where they used to live, kind of thing, and they're trying to communicate with their family, saying, look, I don't know if you already know, but I've just had a car accident, I'm dead, kind of thing. And there's been stories where people have had like dreams and woken up and seen their loved ones, at the bottom of the bed. There was one of the ghost hunting shows that I think it's my haunting story, where this woman used to have dreams about certain people in her life were about to die, and they used to come to her in their dreams saying, look, I just come to say my farewells, but you won't hear or see from me anymore. It's my last few moments on earth, and I just want to come and give you my love and thanks for being there, as a family member, etc., etc. And just come to say farewell. And they'd either see this in a dream, or or they wake up and see a spirit person actually at the bed saying it to them, and suddenly like disappearing after they'd given that message. And even when they see them, they feel like, oh, hang on, was that a dream or what? And suddenly you get a phone call the next day or the day later saying, oh, did you know so and so died? They died in a car accident, or they died in their bed, from stroke or heart attack, or through cancer or some other disease, or illness or whatever, kind of thing. And if you think, oh shit, I just had, you're joking, you're going to break down crying, of course you are. And you think, well, I just spoke to them the other day, they was in my room. Well, no, they weren't, because they was here. So you probably get messages from people before they are or in the process of dying. And I said to my mum, like, do you have, well, a few weeks back, I even asked her before, like a year or so ago. I said, look, although I was with Dad, when he died, and I said to him, if he ever wants to come and visit me, he can come to, and I believe he has many times. When you die, Mum, I said, look, I want you to come and visit me. And she goes, no, seriously, I want you to come and visit me, but one thing, I don't you come in and fucking like having a go at me because my bloody flat's a mess, If you ain't happy with the bloody flat being a mess, then you can clear it up, even if you're dead, I said, like, ghosts can clear things up, you get poltergeists who can move things, so why don't you become a poltergeist and like start cleaning my flat up? just don't put things where I can't find it and start throwing things out in the trash or something, because otherwise I'm gonna, like, you know, fucking get your spiritual ass out. I'll like fucking like remove you. And she's like, yeah, okay. She thought I was like, you know, going crazy or something. But I asked her to my mum, I said, what do you think of me being what I am, you know, doing the paranormal? She goes, Stephen, if that's what you want to do it. As long as you're not out there causing harm to someone, you're not robbing, killing, raping, burglaring, doing drugs, alcohol, and do the paranormal. You know, you got my blessing. And if I can come over and visit you, I will do. So I said, all right, fair enough. And I don't know why, but I know my mum's going to live, you know, a bit more, you know, probably a good few more years. But I still keep feeling that, you know, when she does go, she's going to come and pay me a visit to let me know that she's on the way, you know, saying like, Steve, you know, I know you can't make it, but, you know, I'm dying, you know, kind of thing. It's going to be one of those weird dreams. And if it ain't going to be a dream, it's going to be like, it could be something like where it happens just then, you know. My mum could be fine one day and, you know, you've spoken to her, you know, a couple of weeks earlier. You're thinking, oh, I'll give my mum a call later on in the week, you know, see how she's doing. And suddenly, you know, you're sleeping and you sit at the bottom of the bed and saying, well, you know, I'm dead. You know, you don't have to come and visit me now. I'll come to visit you. You know, I'll come to say my farewells. And you're thinking, holy shit, you know, I wish I did get to see my mum a bit more. And I don't see my mum that much, actually. So when she does go, you know, I'm going to be very upset. I'll be very stressed and depressed, and like I am anyway, but more. And I'm going to feel guilty for not going to visit my mum as much more, you know, because like with my dad, I couldn't get down there. Because I never had the money to go down and visit him that much. You know, I loved him dearly, but, you know, even when he used to come up our house every weekend for a barbecue or for dinner or for a party or something, yeah. And it felt like, you know, how many more times he come? It felt like he practically lived there. And maybe when he did eventually, you know, it's like, it was probably, I can't remember what year it was. He died 2011, around about 2000, late 2009, 2010. He started getting unwell, so he couldn't come up as much as he used to. But even when he was sick, sometimes he really did try hard to come up with Joan, his other wife, because my mum and dad, you know, kind of like divorced. My mum and dad divorced, you know, many years ago, and they both got remarried. So, like, you know, he loved coming up. You know, he loved the food. He loved, you know, my ex-wife's friends, because he, you know, he always used to get a kiss off them. He always used to say, "Hello, darling, where's my kiss then?" And he wouldn't leave them alone unless they gave him a kiss on the cheek, you know. And, like, you know, he used to grab him and go, "Come on, kiss a kiss," like a dirty old man kind of thing. But he wasn't, you know, he's just having fun. He going, "Hello, darling, kiss a kiss then." And I had to give him a kiss just for him, you know, to leave him alone kind of thing. And I knew he was, you know, he was just playing around, being like, you know, comical. And, you know, eventually he did start, you know, not coming up as much because he couldn't do. Then, you know, he started having going to like hospitals and homes because he, you know, got very ill with the Alzheimer's and what's that one? Alzheimer's disease, and the other one, dementia. So he couldn't come out, you know, as many times that time. And I'm thinking, like, you know, he used to come up every bloody day, you know, well, every week, as it was like, you know, he lived there, and suddenly you start missing him. And now he's dead, you know, you miss him all the time, you know, kind of thing. And sometimes I just wish that he did, like, materialise in front of me saying, "Hello, Steve." I'm going to go, "All right, Dad." And I'm going to go, "Fuck you, oh, Dad," you know. I'll just see my dad, standing there, and I think I'm going to be fucking like, am I going to be scared shitless that my dad's just like manifesting? Well, I've got goosebumps on my arms now. Am I going to be shit scared, because I've actually seen my dad like manifesting in front of me, or am I going to be like fucking over emotional but happy to see him again? Because like people again on like these TV shows have said like parents, families, relatives have been dead for like 5, 10 years, 15 years or something, yeah. And because something negative's come in and started causing problems, their family member has somehow been able to come back and get rid of that particular negative entity. Like, saying like, this negative entity could be showing itself as a ghost, kind of thing. And, you get scared, things are going crazy and suddenly, you get your family member come down as a ghost himself, as you saying, I'm here to rescue you, I'm getting rid of this bastard out of your house once for all. And you're going to have like a little bit of a spiritual warfare between your family member and this evil entity, and hopefully your family member is going to be strong enough to kick his ass out. So, I suppose in that kind of need, that, what's that word for it? That, I'm trying to think of a good word. For the need, that help you require to get rid of that negative entity, ghost, spirit, whatever you want to call it. A family member comes down and manifests in front of you saying, hey, I'll come and remove it. Don't be afraid of me. I'm here to help. And you might only see him, for a few seconds, or her for a few seconds. And that's going to probably put your mind at rest, thinking, well, I'll just see my relative. And, he said he's here to get rid of this evil one. Is it going to work? And you're only going to find out if it's worked over time, within like 2 or 3 days, maybe less than that, Oh, my room's gone dark then. I mean, it's negative. So, yeah, I feel like, you do have a lot of, like, if you have got negative entities in your home, then, you can always call upon, like the spirit world and say, look, okay, dad, mum, brother or sister, look, I've got something bad here. I need your help. If you can hear me, can you come down and help me, please? And you've opened that communication, that doorway to the spirit world, to ask your family, your deceased family, to come and help you. And if they're able to, they able to. If they can't, they can't. If things start getting worse, then the only way you're going to get rid of it is by going to a priest or a pastor or a vicar or a monk or someone and asking for spiritual help from the church. But, there have been stories out there where, families have had negative goings on, and a family spirits came down and kicked ass and got rid of that negative entity. So, you don't know what might happen. So, what else is there? Some spirits don't have the understanding that they are dead yet. I agree there, because, they could have died in a particular way, like sudden death, and don't realise they're dead. And, they would probably be pissed off and angry and upset because they don't realise they're dead. And it's only because another spirit person might go up to them and say, look, you got to let it go. You're dead. That's it. You can't be angry with that person because you're dead. They didn't know. If they knew that you were going to die, they would have tried to stop or helped you. But because you had died of sudden death, you can't take it out on his family. So hopefully that way you might get a positive spirit trying to help that spirit to move on and stop giving you any kind of activity whatsoever, whether it's been good or bad. You've been called a witch by a spirit from the 1500s. Well, at least you spoke to someone in the 1500s. I haven't. Victorian times. That's it. Maybe they hear another spirit, get a response, or they have a go. Yeah, well, as I say, like, they learn from other spirits. Like, when I've spoken to spirits on the Ouija board, I've said, look, how do our spirits get to know how to use the technology that we're using? How do they know how to use a Ouija board or pendulum? We teach them. Once we know how, we pass that on, that knowledge, to other spirits, so they can come through and communicate with it. Oh, I get tired. BPG, do they see themselves as solid and manifest so you can see them? But as I said, I think what they do is that they actually start off as a manifestation as like, an orb, a ball of light. And depends on how much energy is around them and they can gather. If there's a lot of energy, then they can like manifest themselves and grow into like a full blown apparition. And that could take seconds, possibly. It could even take days. They might be traveling around as a night anomaly, an orb, but days or even weeks trying to build up the energy to even try to manifest as like a shadow or a full blown apparition. People have said that they've seen a manifestation of a spirit once they called them out. Well, maybe so, but how often is that? And how much energy was around at the time? If there's a shitload of energy, you know, you got different forms of energy. You got energy for your electrics, for your light settings. Your bulbs when you're burning, that's getting off an energy. Your TV, anything electrical is giving off an energy. Us ourselves are giving off energy. When we're talking, that's energy. When we're waving, that's energy. When we're walking about, we're getting off energy. When we sneeze, fart, that's giving off energy. Um, so they build up as much energy as they can. But the main factor of energy is fear. Many people, even many spirits have told me, fear is the main factor. That is the main energy. And they have to try to scare you in some way, being either that knock, that bang, that rattle, that movement, that slight poltergeist activity or whatever. They need to scare you in some way to get that extra oomph of energy to even try to manifest. If they can't get that energy to manifest, then they can't do it. So that's probably why you're hearing all these knocks and bangs and rattles and shadows and things like that. But even still, a knock, a tap, doesn't mean it's a ghost. It could be the house settling down. It could be one of the animals moving around and knock something. Or something's falling down. Vibration. Car could have gone past and made the house vibrate, and something on the sideboard was on the edge and it just fell down. And it makes you feel like, a ghost knocked it down when it ain't. There's different ways you can possibly feel like it's a ghost when it isn't a ghost. Now you've seen the activity I get in here. And that's no way any fucking vehicle going past my house, because where I live, there's just a car park down here. The main road is like 30-second walk. Got to go down the stairs, out the door, round a little turning, along the car park, turn left, and up another 5-10-second walk. So, you know, to the main road is about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. When a lorry comes past, it doesn't vibrate here. So, you know, when you see things move or get knocked down, that's spiritual. It's not vibration from a car. It's not vibration from upstairs, although they can be bloody noisy upstairs sometimes. You know, but, you know, you see me jump around, pointing trigger objects, you know, golf ball. I jumped around in the living room, see if it would fall down. It didn't fall down. And I'm sitting there doing a Ouija board, and suddenly a golf ball fucking gets thrown at me. But because it gets thrown at me, it doesn't mean it's malevolent. It doesn't mean it's evil. That was the kids mucking around, being mischievous little buggers. And, you know, I actually asked for something to happen. I said, look, if you can move something, you know, knock on something, you know, push something down, you know, do something, do it. I was in the living room doing a Ouija board, and all of a sudden the bloody golf ball comes flying at me. And I picked the golf ball back up, put it back on the side, and I was jumping around, tapping, trying to get it to fall down. And it took a lot of effort for that ball to fall back down, but it didn't fall the way it did when it came flying at me. It just kind of fell and bounced. When I asked it, if I recall asking it, it actually kind of like was pushed, like that kind of thing, and it went flying. It nearly hit me. Well, actually, I think it did hit me. But when I got up and tried to debunk it, you wouldn't do it. It only happened that one night. How about the dolls in the kitchen? What made them fall down? They've been sitting there on the kitchen side for well over an hour, 2 hours before it even fell down. I've gone out there, picked it back up, set it back up, jumped around, tapped, you know, tried to do whatever I could make it fall down again. Didn't fall down. Come back in here. About half an hour later, that same doll got pushed down again. Now, why did it get pushed down then when it could have fallen when I've not, you know, people would have said, well, look, you know, after jumping around and, like, you know, doing that vibration, it could have made the doll kind of like go off angle a little bit. Okay, so if it went off angle, why didn't it not fall down within the first few seconds? Why didn't it not fall down when I shut the kitchen door? Why didn't it fall down when I jumped up and down again? Didn't. It's about half an hour or so later, when I was in here again, it fell down because we heard it, and the second time it fell down was a more of a louder thump, as it was pushed down more violently kind of thing. But again, I don't believe that was like anything malevolent. I feel it's just like mischievous. The only malevolent thing that's happened in here was when I got punched in the back. I went flying across the room, and people said, oh, you probably tripped over the bed. But no, people actually heard the thump, for one thing, yeah. And the second thing is, I tried tripping over the bed on purpose, and every time I tried tripping, I've practically fell on the bed or fell on my knees. That time I was actually felt like someone went so hard on my shoulder, I went flying, and I just stopped. My head stopped about 2 inches away from the door. Surprised my head didn't go through the door. So yeah, I've had malevolent spirits here. Demonic, demons, nah. My mate David pretended to be a demon one time, but I knew it was him. So what else is there? I think we all learn. You know, every day we're learning. We all come. Like you said, we come a long way. And every day we're learning. You know, I learn by watching other channels. Like, even if I don't like the person, like I, I've got grudges with certain people. Yeah, I tend to keep away from their channel sometimes. But if I see a video where they said, well, you know, this guy had some really amazing activity in their home or on a location, and I'll probably go and watch it. Even if I don't like the guy, I'll watch it to see what this amazing kind of like piece of evidence they caught and how they caught it. Because in that way we're learning. You know, we all learn in different ways. We teach ourselves, we teach each other. Well, there's no, well, I don't know really. I was going to say, like, it's not too late to have kids because, like, there has been a story where a 60-year-old had a baby and it was in the news quite a what time ago, but they were too old to have kids. Any of you adopt kids, you know, can't physically have kids, you can adopt them. Well, let's have a chat one night, Lolita, and do a stream together. That's a good question. Can a ghost box pick up their own spirit? I don't know really, because we're not dead, are we? And I don't think our spirit can actually leave our body until we are dead. You know, I suppose like telepathic thoughts is a different thing, really. Like, you know, it's like out of body experience, I suppose. Like, can you have an out of body experience and record that out of body experience somehow? I don't know. To be honest with you, good question. That I don't know. Hard one to answer. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I can answer it. No, what I used to say, like, yeah, with my kids, right? I think my daughter Jessica's getting a bit more sensitive now because she's seen things. No, it's not through, you know, the genes or, you know, nothing like that. Um, they always say that, you know, people are able to sense. We've all got a certain gift, ability. And I think it's like, because my daughter has opened herself up more, she actually does feel and see more things. Like she's seen lots of shadows. She's actually seen a little boy down the bottom of the stairs, I think she said. And there was only her. And I think my other daughter at home, I'm not sure my son was there. My ex-wife was working, and she saw a little boy there. And there's only for like a second or two, and it scared her. And I said to her, well, you know, if he didn't do nothing, and maybe he just wanted to be recognised, you know, acknowledged that he was there. Really asked her too much about because I didn't want to scare her. But even when she was in Australia with her boyfriend, you know, she saw shadows, she heard noises and stuff like that. And she felt a little bit afraid of the baby, you know, before it's been born. And even on the scan of the baby, they saw an image actually in the X-ray on the baby, and it looked like, my dad's face. So was he able to like manipulate the X-ray machine when she was on like her scan to see what the baby was? Now the thing is, right, I was talking to my dad one day through the spirit board, yeah, and my daughter goes, "Ask Granddad what sex it's going to be." So I asked him, and I said to him, "I've got an idea what it's going to be," and he spelt out a boy on the Ouija board. Now I said, "Shall we tell her that?" And he said, "No, let it be a surprise." So my daughter didn't know it was going to be a boy or girl. Even on the first X-ray, they weren't too sure. But the second X-ray actually turned out to be a boy. So we was both right. Even my dad in the spirit world knew he was going to be a boy. And it was only until we thought it was only going to be, that particular time that she needed to know it was going to be a boy. And when she said, "I know what it is," I told her, "It's a boy." She goes, "How do you know?" I said, "Well, me and Dad knows it's going to be a boy." And she goes, "Yeah, it is a boy." So that's kind of like, crazy. Because she was in Australia, my dad's dead, and I'm talking to my dad on the Ouija board. And we knew it's both going to be a boy. Now, we could have both been wrong, but we weren't. So, spirits do know things. They can't interact with life. They can't change life. If you're going to have an accident and you got a spirit person with you, they can't stop you from having that accident. It's against their rules. They try to interfere with you, you're screwed. They can even lie to you. Like I was told I was going to have a near-death experience. Like I was going to be knocked down by a car in August 2013. I was scared going out. Every time I went out, I was looking, taking more precautions. I was making not sure no cars were coming up and down the road. I was making sure no cars were coming around the corner. I was being real and truly, cautious when I was going out. And when I kind of like questioned this, they said, "Oh, well, spirits can lie, or they can be mistaken. So maybe it could be any August, any time from now until when you do die. But the thing is, you're not going to die, until you're old." And I said, "Well, old?" And they said, "Possibly 100. I thought, fucking hell, me living to 100. That'd be a miracle. But I said that you're going to have a long life anyway, but you will have a near-death experience, and that near-death experience will change you even more." So what I'm learning at the moment is just like little stuff, I suppose. And when I have a near-death experience, maybe I'm going to see more ghosts than expected to be. Maybe I'm going to communicate with high levels of spirit people. Because in the spirit world, you got like your normal spirits. Then you got your guides. You got your angels. You got your archangels. Then you probably got something higher than the archangels. Then you probably got God himself. Who created God? And there's been many kind of like questions on how was God created. So who created God? Then if we was to find that out, then who created the person who created God? Himself. So it's like who created this person? Then let's like who created A? Well, B did. Well, who created B? C did. Well, who created C? D did. And who the fuck was D? How many more people created? It's like I suppose God could just be one particular God. There could be trillions of gods out there, like trillions of people. We get born, we breed, we have a family, and the family moves on and having more family. Then you get your uncles, your aunt, well, you get your brothers, your sisters, you get your nan, you get your great grandnan, you get your great great grandnan. Oh, it goes through the family tree, you know. So how many members does God have in his family? Could be hundreds, could be trillions. Good night, BPG. I don't know. She's on. I think she is interested. Like she's even asked me to go on a ghost hunt one time. Yeah, this is before she started seeing a lot more stuff and feeling a lot more stuff. And I said no, because I don't you coming on an investigation and start screaming, panicking as soon as we get there, because it'd be a waste of journey, you know, kind of thing. So I said, if you're going to get into this, like, you know, you need to like learn, understand, not to be afraid, and you know, to like be cautious, you know, protect yourself. You know, although we'll be there to protect you and like, you know, pray for you as well, but you know, you need to like know certain things. And I'll say like when she was in Australia, um, she actually told me she saw her boyfriend's, I don't know, if it was his brother or cousin or something, one of his relatives who actually died, saw a shadow, a dark shadow person in the flat where they lived the same day he died. And she was like, you know, kind of scared and worried. I said, well, maybe it's just like, you know, him coming to say his farewells. And she said, yeah, it could be. And I said, well, keep me informed how many times you see it, you know, how long it goes for. And she said, well, I know, like, you know, she only seen it like twice and then never again. And then, like, a few months later, another member of the family died. I think it was like a grandma or something. And she thought that she saw an old lady in a flat and it scared her. But, you know, she ran and hid and thinking, well, you know, maybe that's Gavin's grandma. And I said, well, maybe it was, you know, you don't, like, I know it's scary when you see things, but, you know, try not to be scared because they feed off the fear. And if they're like, you know, malevolent, evil spirits, they use that against you. So try to, like, hold back your fear. I know it's hard to do, but try to do it. And then, like, she heard knocks and bangs and a few other weird things, but she kind of, like, thought that's just, like, you know, normal stuff that's going on in the flat when, you know, the flat's settling down at night time. But she saw, like, you know, shadows and things like that. And that was in Australia. And even before she went to Australia, she saw that child at the bottom of the stairs in her mum's house. I think she said she's heard some voices before. So, you know, I'm pretty sure she's sensitive and she's open to the spirit world. I think she has tried to hide it a little bit, but you know, I said, well, if you try hiding it, they're going to know. You know, you need to just like live with it, you know, like I do now, because I've gone with it, you know, 5 years, 6 years now. You know, just go on as a day-to-day thing. You know, if you see something, just try to not acknowledge it, because if you're acknowledging it, and that's what they want, because if it is malevolent and you acknowledge it, then they're going to like start causing you shit. You know, even if it's a good spirit, just try not to acknowledge it. You know, because they might start pestering you. And I said, if you want to get more into the, like, you know, spirit, or just watch my videos, watch other people's videos, learn through that way, like I had to do. Because when I got into the paranormal, I was watching every fucking video I could watch on YouTube. You know, ghost hunting, ghost hunters, ghost adventures, Most Haunted. I was watching Hush videos. I was watching God knows how many videos I could watch to learn the paranormal. And that's how I learned. And I suppose that's how I learnt my gifts as well. You know, I suppose God gives you gifts time to time. And once you got that gift, you learn from that gift. So, you know. Anyway, I'm going to have to go, guys. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was going to go out today, but it looks like I won't. I'll be going in sleeping all day, or most of the time. So, I'll probably do another stream like this sometime and do a hangout so we can talk about it. So if you want to come on later, probably in the week, yeah, because I've got a few things to do this week, and I want to do some other kind of stuff without interruptions, you know, without any hangouts, because that way, you know, when I do my streams, I've got to concentrate. If I like, you know, break my concentration, then it screws me up, and I can't do what I want to do. So, you know, I'm not trying to be rude to people, not having them on the hangout, but when I want to concentrate on something, I will do. Like, I want to try to do one thing during the week, and that's going to be outside. I'm not going to say what that is. I've already said it before, and I've not been able to do it. I was going to try to do it this week, but I couldn't because of the weather situation. But I want to do something next week outside, and then I want to do an Xbox connecting here with the new Hollow Fox software and see if we can get anything come through that way. So probably be next weekend. If you ain't doing that next weekend, I'll invite a few of you on here. We can try to do like a joint session or something. Yeah, you know, like card reading, Ouija board, pendulum, ghost box. You know, we can do a crap load of stuff. I get, you know, 3 or 4 of you on here and see what we can do. And you know, the main thing is to rest, because I know you said that you're not well. You know, your knee, my knee's been giving me a lot of pain. That's why I've not been out a lot. You know, even when I've had to go out, you know, I've had to be careful with my knee. It's not so much when I'm going down the stairs, but when I'm coming up the stairs, you can hear it crunching, you know, really bad. And it's giving me a lot of pain, and I've got medication like for it, you know, what's it called? It's pain to stop, you know, it hurting so much. Oh, I saw a cat in here, but the cat's in the hallway. See, you know, you see things in the, you know, on the monitor sometimes, you know, like little movement, shadows, and I hope we get a lot of like sounds in here every night, you know, like little knocks and clicks and taps and stuff like that. And sometimes, like, this is what is like weird. They know that you're around, or you know that they're around, yeah. And sometimes they want you to know that they're around, but when you grab a camcorder to try and record it, it all goes quiet. You don't hear nothing. But as soon as you turn that camera off, it starts up again. Now, you know, before I do go, right, with my DVR system, which I have, I've had the 4-channel one, I've had the 8-channel one, which are both broken down on me. And I will be getting a new DVR within the next week or two. Just keeping an eye on, you know, eBay and on Amazon. There's one on Amazon I can get an 8-channel DVR, but only 4 cameras. But I've got other cameras I could probably use. And it's like about £130. It's a cheaper model. I wanted to get the Sony one, but that's like $260, but they've actually reduced the price to $360 now. Why? I do not know, but it's gone up £100. So I ain't going to be able to get that one. But I will get like a cheaper model to get it up and running again. and I'll have to start saving more money for next year and get a better brand one later. Because the thing is, you know, I've always found that, you know, why pay for the name brand when something cheaper will do just as well, you know, kind of things like clothes, shoes. No, I'd rather go out and buy like a £10 pair of trainers rather than spending like £100 on a branded name pair of trainers, you know. They both seem to do what you need to do, put them on your feet and walk around. Some will actually like last longer than the others, you know, kind of thing. And that's what I'm like. I'd rather try and buy the cheapest. It's not so much, you know, being skinfully, you know, tight with money. Well, I'm tight with money because I ain't got much money coming in. And like, you know, it's only because like through the donations I've had, and I've been saving that donations. You know, the rest of the money is coming out like by not going out as much. Because when I go out, I'm spending that. Well, normally I used to go about 5 times a week, right? That'd be talking about £15 travel cost. Now I haven't been out for 2 weeks, so I've been able to save that travel cost and put that to one side. But you know, food-wise, I've not been eating that much, so I've had to buy a bit more food to keep me fucking alive and kicking, kind of thing. So that travel cost has gone on food, but not all of it. But I've had to catch some of it. So I'm not sure by next week or the week after, I'll probably have enough money to buy that cheaper brand model, which is a 8-channel but 4-camera DVR system with a terabyte hard drive in, and I can get up and running and use 4 of the other cameras I've got here from the 8-camera system I used to have running. So in other words, hopefully within 2 weeks I should have another DVR system. Hopefully. Or I might just wait until the end of the year. Wait until my mum gives me my Christmas money like she normally does, £200 each year. And then I'll just use that and buy the better brand. I don't know yet. Or I might just keep the £200 and wait until I've got the extra money and buy a better brand. So I still could buy the cheaper brand and use that one until I've got the money again to buy the better brand later. Or I could just wait until I get the better brand. But then that means like waiting. That could be like another 6 months. And I don't really want to be doing that because I really want to get back to the, you know, live streaming CCTV DVR system again. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed. I'll catch up with you later in the week and let you know what we can do. Probably be a weekend night, Saturday or Sunday. So I've got a couple of things I want to do. As I say, because I'll start having hangouts with people. I'm going to start like losing track and like getting what's that word for it? Losing concentration by having people want to hang out. If I lose concentration, then I'm gonna screw things up, and I don't want to screw things up. So you know, I'm hoping to try to do like one stream with people who wants to come on and do something with me, like I used to do, you know, a couple of years ago. Start getting some of that stuff back on, and hopefully, you know, with the moderators we got, we keep the trolls out so they won't come on and cause aggravation. All right, take it easy. Good night, everyone. Nearly 6 o'clock. Well, 5:40. I'm going to bed. Catch you later. Good night. God bless. Bye.